Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jal, out of His mercy, revealed the Quran at the last moment when human beings were destroying each other. He said we were on the brink, the edge of the hellfire, human beings. After 600 years of total darkness and jahiliyyah, total darkness on the face of this earth, the human beings, Allah said in the Quran, was hufratan min an-nar. Hufratan min an-nar. We were on the edge, hufratan min an-nar, from the fire. We're destroying ourselves completely. But Allah, out of His mercy and His accurate timing, He snatched us back. He says in the Quran, He snatched us back. He said, because we were enemies to each other, you know. And even though a great majority of the humanity still treats each other like enemies, but the world still has hope. The world, has hope because Islam is still alive. Allah keeping His promise that He made to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the last surah to be revealed as a complete surah, Surat al-Nasr. When He said, you will see people coming to Allah's religion in crowds. And it's happening right now. The more they try to discredit Islam and put it down and demonize it, the faster Islam grows. Allah says in the Quran that they think they can put out the light of Allah with their tongues, but they can't. You know, it's still growing. And they're trying to, and they think that the people of Gaza are defeated because they're killing their physical bodies, but they're winners because they're martyrs and they're with their Lord. Of course, we don't like it. It feels bad. It's horrible. It's unfair. It's unjust. You know, but subhanAllah, Allah has the best plan. So we should praise Allah and thank Allah for everything good of this world that we can get out of it. But we have a responsibility, my beloved brothers and my beloved sisters. As Allah says in the Quran, in Surat al-Najm, the star, He said that He is the Lord of the mighty star. Now the Quranic name for this mighty star is al-Habur. But some of the scientists call it the Sirius, the mighty star. Now I want you to put this thing in proper perspective so you can understand what our role is now. This mighty star called Sirius, people don't talk about it very much. You know, it's about 137 light years away from the planet Earth. But some scientists say that Sirius, the mighty star, al-Habur, is 7 times brighter than the sun. Some say it's 700 times brighter than the sun. What I would argue, even if it was only twice as bright as the sun, we can't even look at the sun directly. But this star is the star that pierces through the darkness of the universe. And Allah swears by this star. He says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الطَّارِقُ النَّجْمُ الثَّاقِبُ. That's enough for now. He said He swears, He swears by the sky, وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ, and the night visitant. He swears by the star that brings light out of darkness. That this mighty star, when the atmosphere in the universe is so dark, this star is so bright, it pierces through the darkness. Yeah. This is so bright, and Allah swears by it. Allah is the only being that's allowed to swear by something that's created. We can only swear by Allah. We say, Wallahi. When you want to convince somebody you're telling the truth, Wallahi, you swear by Allah. As Muslims, we're not allowed to swear on anything or anyone that's created. I swear on my mama's grave, and I swear on my uncle, I swear on it. We're not allowed to do that. We can only say, Wallahi. And then whoever we're talking to, if they're a believer, they have to take our word for it then. Because no one in their right mind swears by Allah and then lies. But Allah swears by things He created. And there's several ayahs throughout the Quran where it is an example, you know. Wazini was a tomb, you know, and so on and so forth, by the fig and the olive. But Allah swears by the sky that he created and the night visitant, this star, this special star that is so bright that when Allah really, when something is so definite that Allah puts emphasis on it by swearing on something that he has created. So be sure of that. He is saying so then the question, he asks a question and then he answers the question. You know? He says, وَسَمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ. And then he asks the question, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الطَّارِقِ. And what would explain to you, you know, what this night visitant is, what this star is. And النَّجْمُ ثَاقِبٌ. It is a star of piercing brightness. Yeah. Isn't that something? He's swearing by it. And then he goes on to give a lesson. I'll leave it to the rest of us. This Jummah is a short service today. Go home, sit with your families, and go over the tafsir in the English translation or whatever language you're comfortable with, and discuss this beautiful surah. Surah Taariq. Taariq, subhanallah. The night visitant. The one that brings light out of darkness. The one that makes things clear when things are unclear. The one that makes things understood when things are confusing. Yes, he swears by that, subhanallah. Yes, a star of piercing brightness. This is brighter than the sun. Even in the darkest part of the universe, El-Habori, or Sirius, shines bright and affects everything that catches its reflection. And it's many, many times brighter than the sun. Look how beautiful the moon looks. And the moon doesn't even have its own light. The moon just reminds us that the sun is existing. Yes, right? Yeah. And look how beautiful it is, whether it's a full moon, half moon, quarter moon, or hilal that mark the beginning of the lunar month. When I was on my journey to pure Islam, I was in an organization called the Nation of Islam, but we used to call our wives our moon. I don't know if any of you might remember that, but I need me a moon. What is the moon? The moon reflects the light of the sun. Yes. And the moon is more beautiful. We can't even enjoy the beauty of the sun. We can only enjoy what the sun reflects. Look at that beautiful sunrise. We're not looking right at the sun. We're looking at the horizon. It's been decorated by the light of the sun. Look at that beautiful sunset. Yes. We're not looking directly at the sun. You can't even enjoy the beauty of the sun because it's too bright. But you can enjoy the beauty of what the sun reflects upon. Isn't that a beautiful moon? MashaAllah. Yes. So, and then the expression of light that we utilize in our daily conversations, in our interaction with each other, there's a little light at the end of the tunnel. That light means that there's hope. There's a good conclusion on the way, right? That I can see the light now, yes. And then what does Allah teach us in Surah Al-Falaq? The next to the last surah of the Quran. He says to say to him, isn't it beautiful, this God that we serve, that he teaches us how to maximize our belief in him. Say this to me. Cool. Help me get over this fella. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the dawn. What is dawn? Dawn is light after it's been dark. Yes. Allah created the dawn. He created the dark. Everything is creation except Allah. Yes. So now, when we say, I can see the light now, we say, now I understand. Now the light is coming on. And they use expressions sometimes in the cartoons when someone has a bright idea, they put a picture of a light bulb over their head. You know, the light is on now. Yeah, the light means something, especially in a period or an atmosphere where it's been dark, when things look gloomy. What does Allah tell us also to seek refuge in him? In that same surah, he said the acceptable translation said, I seek refuge in him from the darkness as it overspreads. And sometimes, way too often, even the best of us, even the most religious of us, even those of us that say we got all of this faith, every once in a while we get gloomy. And one thing happens in our life, and we think our whole life is falling apart. Right? Yes. Newlyweds do that all the time. They've been married a few weeks, a few months, They have one little spat, and they say, our marriage is falling apart. That's why we can't communicate. We shouldn't have gotten married in the first, because the darkness is overspread. One little thing happens. Seek refuge in Allah from the darkness as it overspreads. Your whole life ain't falling apart because one thing happened. Allah strengthened us with difficulty, and then all was for you strong. Surely with that difficulty, ease is on the way. The sincere Muslim should be that star of piercing brightness in this troubled world of darkness. If you want to. Everything looks bad. You can't turn on the news without some bad news. Right? Yes. But we, the Muslims, those who stand proudly and recite La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, we don't say it as a cliche. We don't say it just for our own advertisement. We don't say it just to make ourselves feel good. We say it because it's a fact. There is no God but Allah. Right? Yes. See, some translators say, La ilaha illallah Rasulullah means there's nothing worthy of worship except Allah. Nothing worthy of worship is a statement of fact. But the actual translation, we're saying, La ilaha illallah. There is no God. Nothing deserves to be worshipped except the one God. Nothing. No, you can treat something like a God. You can act like it's a God. You can call it a God. You can prefer to talk to it instead of talking to God. But that does not make it Allah. That doesn't make it. Our problems are not God. Our difficulties are not God. Our troubles and turmoils and strikes and problems between each other is not God. Our overdue bills and our empty gas tank and our cell phone that lost a signal is not God. We have a tendency to worship anything. We fall apart because little things happen. But La ilaha illallah. Yes, there is no God except Allah. So, but we need to remind each other, like Imam Shafi, rahimahullah, taught his students that if only one surah had been revealed for the entire Quran, Surah Asr would have been sufficient to guide humanity. And in that surah there's one ayah that reminds us the power and the importance of reciprocal reminders. What the wasa bil haq. It's a reciprocal verb, right? The Arabic linguists say it's reciprocal. It comes over, it keeps going around, it's spinning like a gyroscope. Yes. I remind you, you remind me. I might forget. I'm not perfect. Well, the outstanding characteristic of insan is the creature that has to be reminded. Because we forget. Yes. Animals don't forget. Dogs don't forget how to be dogs. Monkeys don't forget how to be monkeys. A tree knows what it's supposed to do with the process of photosynthesis. It doesn't have to be reminded. Yes. Bees know which flowers to pollinate and which trees to pollinate. They don't forget. Yeah, but human beings forget. We have a tendency to forget. What's my evidence? Because we start worrying. There are Muslims spending millions, maybe billions of dollars, paying psychiatrists to lay on their couch and whine and moan to them about their life is falling apart. SubhanAllah. And all we need is to submit to Allah. Because Prophet Muhammad said, if you reconcile with Allah, He'll deal with the people. Right? You don't have to worry about trying to make people like you. You know, people obsessed over popularity. Islam is not a popularity contest. You know, I got to see how many people I can make like me. You want the answer to that question? See how well you can make Allah love you. Because a very authentic hadith. When Allah loves you, He tells Jibril to love you. And Jibril, the emir of all the angels, said Allah loves him or her, and I love him or her. You also, you know how many angels there are? You got a calculator in your phone? The Prophet ﷺ teaches us for every single drop of rain that falls, there's an angel to tell it where it's supposed to land. Then you calculate that. And Allah, and Jibril tells all the angels to love you. Yes. And then the angels say, we love you, and it talks to the rest of creation. Everybody else in creation, y'all love him too, or love her. Then the creation lets the people. Then the people begin to love you. That's more sincere. It's permanent. You can't take it away. No one can take away the love of Allah. He is the light of the heavens and the earth. Recite with your families and open the eyes of Surat An-Nur. Allah, Allah, An-Nur as-samawati wal-ard. He is the light of the heavens and the earth. Yes, and He created this star that shines bright. And He created us. And out of His mercy, He expanded our breast to Islam when He could have let us die in our disobedience. Do you feel me? He could have let us die in our insubordination, in our negligence of our salawat. Even after we took shahada and know we were supposed to be Muslim. We got faults, we got shortcomings, we got skeletons in our closet. Allah could have let us die. But out of His mercy, He let us live to witness our own tower. Isn't that a magnificent God to serve? I would say it makes common sense to turn your whole life over to Allah. We tried everything else. SubhanAllah. A sincere Muslim should be that star of piercing brightness in this dark world. Yeah, if we want to. Some of us don't want to. I got mine, get yours. We treat Islam like it's some marbles. I don't know if they still have marbles in this generation. When the kids used to have fun without the internet. Remember marble? These are my marbles. You know, this is my Islam. I got mine. No, we should be a bright star, a piercing brightness in everybody's atmosphere. People's lives nowadays are dark and gloomy. Some don't know that it's dark because they're spiritually blind. They think that it's bright. They don't know. They're spiritually blind. Haven't even accepted Islam. Don't even understand why they're rejecting it. People rejecting Islam don't even have a reason why. SubhanAllah. They think that they're okay. But the ones that know they're not okay are in denial still because they don't realize that the light is standing right in front of them. But we as Muslims, we have to identify our obligation to utilize the light that Allah put into our hearts. He has enlightened our hearts. He didn't just open and expand into Islam. Don't you know that every human being has a little bit of something of Allah's attribute in them? What's your evidence, Qasim? Because every time a Muslim faces a difficulty or a turmoil, Allah teaches us to say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. From Allah we come, and to Allah we return. Yes, from Allah we come. We come from Allah, right? When we pass away, we return to Allah. We don't automatically go straight to paradise. We go to Allah, and we held accountable. But Allah is all good. Allah is all positive. Allah is all goodness. So that means that since we come from Allah, that every single person on the face of this planet, no matter what we think of them, no matter how corrupt we think they may be, no matter how we disagree with their lifestyle, everybody has some speck of good in them somewhere. And our lives will be a lot happier if we look for that instead of looking for the negative. Some people feel hopeless because they have allowed themselves to be overcome and overwhelmed by the darkness that's overspread their lives. SubhanAllah. Yeah, they feel hopeless. There are many hopeless people out there. They just gave up. You know, the ultimate of giving up is suicide. But some people just throw their lives away. They're not trying to do anything. I'm just not going to try anymore. It's just over. I'm not, and they make their whole career out of begging from people who have not given up. How many street corners right here in Houston do you pass by? For years and years you see the same person on that same street corner with the same cardboard sign. Every little bit helps. They've given up. But we have a responsibility, yes, to light up their atmosphere. Because they've let that darkness overspread their lives. My beloved brothers and my beloved sisters, Allah didn't just select us to accept Islam just randomly. Allah does everything for a reason. But we need to ask ourselves, why me? Don't say just why me when you have a problem. Oh, woe is me. Why I got to have this problem? No, we should say in a very clear dua, with sincerity, oh Allah, why me to Islam? Why you expand my breast to Islam? What am I supposed to get out of it? How am I supposed to benefit others? Huh? I got to exhale and also inhale. Yes. Why me? I got to benefit somebody. Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said a very authentic hadith. He said, no two believers should come together except that they should benefit each other. But we, as neighbors on this small, tiny planet called Earth, we should be trying to benefit somebody. Let people benefit from our existence. Don't you know? That's the ultimate in sadaqah. It's called in Islam sadaqah jariyah. Sadaqah jariyah isn't just for physical things like I'm going to plant a date tree and I'm going to plant a garden or I'm going to build a school. Sadaqah jariyah is to do something for someone that makes them always feel good. And that becomes reciprocal. And it passes down to succeeding generations. Yes. Make somebody's day. Ain't no harm in it. It's no harm in trying, brothers and sisters, but we have to start with ourselves. Like Allah says in Surat Taariq, very acceptable translation of ayat number 6. He said, oh, you who believe, save yourselves and your families from a fire whose fuel is people and stones. Yeah. So start with yourself. Am I a reflection? Is my light? Do I feel as though my life is brighter now because I've accepted Islam? Or am I still walking around looking for things to complain about? Just constantly complaining. No. And then go into your households. Look at your households. Are you that bright light? Are your families happy when they see you show up, when you walk through the door? They say everything's going to be all right. Yes, daddy's home, mommy's home, uncle's home. Yes, they're here. Things are going to be okay now. And everybody gets happy. Yeah, not feel intimidated. I said, oh, here he comes again. He's going to be complaining. You know, look into your household and be that star of piercing brightness in your household that everybody gets happy when you're around. Yes, make somebody's day. Then the neighbors have so much right. He thought about bequeathing them. SubhanAllah. The neighbors, make your neighbor's day. Make somebody feel good. Be that star of piercing brightness. We can all be a star. Yes, I'm not talking about movie stars or football star, basketball star. Okay, that's okay. It's halal in the dunya. But the most important star to be is that star of piercing brightness in somebody's world that appears to be dark. Someone's not feeling good. Make their day. Do something to let them know that it's not hopeless. It's okay. Everything's going to be all right. Even Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he thought that Allah had abandoned him because he went a period of time without a revelation, and then he revealed some more Quran to him, he said, hey, I didn't abandon you. You done everything you're supposed to do. It's all right. I got it. Allah got this. He doesn't lose control. He is the originator, the maker, the sustainer, the controller, the provider of this entire universe and everything that's within it. Even down to how many eyelashes that we have. Allah controls everything. So why would he abandon me? Unless my conscience is not clear. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. We all know who we are. If the shoe fits, wear it. We're not saying our prayers on time. We're not going to the masjid when we're able to go and just refuse to go because we think that it's not necessary. Yes, you single brothers, they're waiting till you get $1 million in IRA account before you get married when Allah has prescribed marriage for you. You get married with faith in Allah and know that Allah will strengthen the shoulders of you when you add more responsibility. Don't you get stronger when you lift heavier weights? Then your tenacity, your moral fiber gets stronger as you take on more responsibility. Don't be scared of obeying Allah. Allah never lets people suffer for obeying Him. Come on now. SubhanAllah. Yes, my beloved brothers and my beloved sisters, start with our neighbors, then our entire community. Be the light in the community to make people happy. In this masjid, we have a pattern, we have a system, we have a very comprehensive community service program. We go out in the community and feed the people, the ones that can't come here, and then we go and find them and feed them and give them clothes and furniture. And now to the point when they see Muslims, they get happy. Yes, I'm happy, here they come. A little boy told us several times, they saw our trucks coming down the street and said, Mommy, the Muslims are here, we get to eat today. And they were happy and jumping up and down, subhanAllah. People are supposed to get happy when they see Muslims. Criminals are supposed to feel guilty when they see Muslims. Yes, well, real Muslim, yes. Con artists supposed to feel a sudden burst of honesty when they see Muslims. Yes, make people happy. Be that star piercing brightness in this dark world. And where we go, we should light up the atmosphere. People should be relieved and happy when we show up on the scene. Make somebody's day. Make somebody's day, because surely on Yom Kippur, on that great day, we're going to be hoping and praying that Allah makes our day when He gives us salam and welcomes us into His paradise. La ilaha illallah. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salam ala Muhammad Rasulullah wa Mustafa Ameen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Shadu la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Shadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Oh Allah, please place your choices, prayers, and peace upon Muhammad and upon his wives, upon his children, upon his grandchildren, and all of his companions. Oh Allah, please make us among those that learn how to see each other the way we want you to see us. Kulu Ameen. My beloved brothers and my beloved sisters, this is not just another day. This is Yom Jumu'ah. And the day, this beautiful day actually began at Maghrib Yom Khamis. Last night began a 24-hour period. We should be in a total state of dhikr, tasbih, thinking about Allah, subhanAllah, very special. We don't know when that actual moment is, but we don't want to take any chances. But let's do this, my beloved brothers and my beloved sisters. If we think that we're happy, if we think that my life is under control, everything's in order, right? I got a half a tank of gas in my car, a spare tire, and my rent is caught up, subhanAllah. I got me a pretty wife at home, everything's cool, right? If we think our life is so fine, don't you think that we want someone else to be just as happy? Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a very often repeated, very popular hadith. La yu'minuna hadakum hatta yuhibbu akhihi ma yuhibbu nafsihi. Not one of you believe that you love your brother what you love your own soul. That means sisters too. Don't you want the rest of the world to be happy? Do what you can. Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, what I have ordered you to do as much as you can. At the very least, some of us come here knowing how bad the masjid needs money. Some of us come here and don't even have a cent. But you do have a dua. You do have a well wish. You do got a smile if you know how to smile. You do have hope. You do have that possibility that Allah will change your condition and improve it for you if you only learn how to use the faith that you have. The most powerful tool and weapon Allah has given the believers is dua. Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam changed the whole world with the dua. Make a dua. Talk to Allah. And don't just talk to Him, let Him talk to you. Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said when you're reciting the salat, which we'll do in a moment, inshallah, you're talking to Allah. When you're reading the Quran, Allah is talking to you. Let's let Allah talk to us. And inshallah ta'ala, we'll find our place and find out what we're supposed to do. In the meantime, we should want to be that bright star of piercing darkness in this dark world. And somebody is having a little darkness in their life. If you detect it, give them something to be happy about. And the Prophet ﷺ teaches us that those who relieve the suffering or difficulty of their brother in this life, and that always means sisters too, Allah will relieve their difficulty in the afterlife. If for no other reason, we want Allah to make our life easy for us if we make somebody else feel hopeful. الحمد أنت النور السماوات والأرض وما فيهن والحمد أنت قائم السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن ولك الحمد أنت الحق ووعدك حق قولك حق ولقاؤك حق جنة حق نار حق ساءة حق ونبينا محمد حق في الآخر وسلم. Our Lord says, ربكم لكم أستجب لكم. The Lord of all of us says, call on me, I will answer all of you. Isn't that amazing? ربكم, he said, call on me, لكم أستجب لكم. I will listen to all of you, each of you. Human beings can't do that. We say one at a time. I'm only one, I'm only human. But Allah, if every single person on the face of the planet Earth was to raise their hand and dua and ask Allah for something individually, Allah is so perfect and so complete, He can answer each dua separately and perfectly of all the billions of people. I would say it's worth our time to talk to Allah. Wherever we're coming up short, if we're feeling dark, ask Him to be the nur that He already said that He is. He come and show.